Hey everyone! Before I start this, let me just say that this video will be more of me rambling on about what we saw in the Aion 2 teaser, and all of these things are not confirmations, but give us a good amount of hints that our assumptions are correct. I just want to voice my thoughts about it and the thoughts of other people I talk to that are also interested in the lore or story of Aion. In the end, we potentially see 5 of the Imperial Lords in only this first teaser. So lean back and let's speculate a little bit about what we saw in the teaser and the other shorts on the official YouTube channel. Let's start with the short teaser and the different scenes there. When I saw the first scene, I initially thought of Verteron because of the color palette. If you remember from the video I made a couple months ago, NC has confirmed that certain regions will be in the game. This includes Poeta, Verteron, Eltnan, and what I believe to be Sanctum. The Verteron image had a red color scheme that reminded me of this first scene, even though I gotta say, I had more red and orange in my memory of it. Anyway, in my head was that it could possibly be Verteron. That is why I thought of the possible landmarks in this scene that could fit what we have in the first Aion game. What came to mind was the Balau altar, which in this scene is this strange structure, and behind it was the Sumian temple, which in this scene is the statue behind it. Even in the first Aion game, these two were fairly close, so it would make sense. But I think this is wrong. Now the reason why I think my initial thought was wrong is that there are wind streams in this scene. You can see one in the top left corner and one that goes down below these stone bridges. And wind streams are a natural occurrence that only happens in Balorea. So we are not in Verteron or somewhere else in Altrea, but we are on the other side, meaning somewhere in Balorea. I can understand that all of this might be weird to many of you, but these are the small but important lore infos I am here for. Many people in our Discord also help me. We are discussing stuff there and try to together figure out more with these small details. The last thing I can mention here, which we will also see in a later scene, is the statue here in the background. I don't think this is an ordinary statue. This is an important character. Important characters are usually either Dragon Lords or Imperial Lords or someone close to them. There are two people that immediately come to mind when I think of an important person that wears a hood like this. The Balau Lord Beritra, or which I think is more likely, the Imperial Lord Azphel. An Imperial Lord in Balorea at this time? Well, yeah, that is not really unusual. I would say especially for Lord Azphel and for Lady Seal. In the first Aion game is a storybook called Sabbath's End. I will link it in the description if you want to read it yourself. In this book they talk about Sarpen, which is a region in Balorea. Lady Seal and some of her troops were there. Here they also mentioned that a lot of Jotun were running around in Balorea, and they don't seem very friendly, as the person that had written the book says that they have lost already many men to them. To keep it short, Lady Seal and her troops were forced into a fight against Tiamat and her troops. Lady Seal and her incredible strength managed to defeat Tiamat and her men, forcing them to flee and retreat. They had a prisoner, a noble Balau called Sabbath, who opposed Tiamat. Tiamat feared that he could threaten her position and wanted to get rid of him. Well, in the end it came to another fight between Sabbath and Tiamat. The wounded Tiamat was forced to retreat, and as our Lady Seal appeared, she turned Sabbath and the entire valley into stone. This story might not have a huge impact on what we talk about now, but I wanted to mention it to show you that the Imperial Lords not only were many times Balorea, but also to show the power they wield. Let's move on to the next scene. In my first reaction to this, I called these here chickens. In reality, these are the flying Sparkies. these strange bugs that you for example see in Poeta. Then on the right to this is something that still looks like a boar to me, and right of that is something blue. This could be either a Daru, which are these kangaroo-like creatures in Asmodee, or it is a gatherable plant, I guess. Hard to tell with these pixels here. In the air we see the giant creature, which looks pretty different to the giant creatures we have in the first Aion game. But I can't say much more to that. In this next shot we see the structure and the statue from the first scene. Nothing much to say here, we get a bit of a closer look at the statue, which still could be Azphel. And for the structure, this seems like a cannon, but I'm unsure, it looks a bit weird. In this scene, we see a statue, or a stone face, of the Imperial Lord Kaizinel. I talked about this before, the helmet is undoubtedly of Kaizinel. He has a very unique design. What I want you to pay attention to is the guy in the middle here. More precisely, his weapon. I think this is a magic staff. Something that we did not have in the first Aion game for mages. It was only staffs for chanters and clerics, but they don't necessarily look like mage staffs like the one in this scene does. I'm happy about this, having staffs be a mage thing is something that I do support. Here we see the old Asmodean symbol on the right and the new Asmodean symbol on the left side. I really do like this change, because now you can see what it represents. Two crossed halberds for the Asmodeans. Now to the Ilias we have the old symbol right and the new symbol on the left side. For the Ilias it is a sword that is decorated with two wings. I think no matter which way I look at this is a good change. Okay, now it's getting interesting. This image is the background for the Ilias character. We do see two statues standing by a torch. And in a shorts video with the Shugos, we see the third statue. The statue on the left is representing Lady Eustiel, the Lady of Life. She is connected to nature, and as we can see, the only statue that has these roots and plants over it is her statue. The statue beside her is representing Lady Lumiel, the Lady of Wisdom. In the first Aion game she was very small, but the reason I assume it is her is the magic staff. And now we can take a look at a different angle from the shorts video to see the third statue. This statue has a lamp in her hand and covers her eyes with the second hand. This is Lady Ariel, the Lady of Light. And honestly, I am so damn happy about this. This is the proof that the lore of Aion was not just thrown out the window. For those of you that watched my playlist where I covered the Imperial Lords and their stories, something should come to mind when I covered these three Imperial Lords: Ariel, Lumiel and Eustiel. Before the Cataclysm, these three lords were best friends. All three of their powers combined could stabilize all calamities and disasters in all of Atreia. In the past, the three were looked upon as the very symbol of Aeon's divinity. Having this lore teaser in the game is very exciting for me, because sadly they did go back and change a lot of the story before, so it was unclear how close they stick to what we know of the first Aion game. In the Asmodean background we see a couple of houses that are built on these mountains. It is unclear why they decided to build their settlement like that. Maybe there is something that they hide from. Or it could simply be a design choice because it looks cool. You can also see these lamps here looking like birds, but I don't know more about it. Could be Lumiel since her magic is sometimes associated with birds, but I really don't know. Lastly, we see a couple of different angles of the areas from before in their other shorts videos. For example, this building looks really cool. There's some more stuff in the background like this golden ether here, I guess. And this blue light in the distance, maybe a teleporter or a flight transport or something like that. But yeah, overall I guess that is all we know for now about Aion 2 until the end of this month. Maybe there's something that you caught that I didn't see. If that's the case, let me know in the comments. If you want to talk and speculate with us, feel free to join our Discord server. And if you want to learn more about the lore of the Aion universe, my channel is perfect for that, since I started as a lore channel for Aion. I especially can recommend the Imperial Lords series that covers the godlike beings that will surely play a huge role in Aion 2. Anyway, I thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and see you next time. Bye!